video is on polygons, and this is really just a review of something, the terminology that you've been using since you were a little kid. A polygon is a closed figure made by connecting line segments. So this is a polygon, closed, lines, polygon. This is not because it's not closed, and this is not because it has curves. So we're just looking at examples of these. And so a polygon is classified by the number of sides it has. The most common polygons are, if you have, and you need to write this down, jot this down in your notes so that you remember this, because you're not going to be tested directly over this, but you're going to have to know this stuff to answer other questions. So if the number of sides is 3, of course it's a triangle, and it looks like a triangle. Could be any kind of triangle. And if it has 4, it's a quadrilateral, which we learned about. And 4 sides, there's different types of quadrilaterals, but any 4-sided figure is a quadrilateral. 5 sides is a pentagon. Penta means 5. And this is a regular pentagon because all the sides are equal. But you could have a 5-sided figure that didn't have equal sides. It's still called a pentagon. And the same is true of a hexagon, 6 sides. And this is a regular hexagon that has equal sides. And even if it didn't have equal sides, but it had 6 sides, it would still be a hexagon. But because they're equal, it's called regular. And then a heptagon has 7 sides. And we really won't see much application of this, but I wanted to include 7 for you. And then there's 8, which is an octagon, which is like the shape of a stop sign. And this is a regular octagon because all the sides are equal. And then we have a nonagon, which is 9 sides. And again, you don't see this very often. You don't hear about it very often, but we included it in the chart. And then 10 is a decagon. And deca stands for 10, like decade. Deci is all 10. And 10-sided figure, and this is a regular one. And so just make sure you have this to refer back to whenever you're doing perimeter questions or geometry questions, and have to understand and know the attributes of different types of shapes.
This video is on quadrilaterals, and this is my first time using Camtasia to see what it's like, and you'll just see this little picture of me and you'll go through the flip chart. So quadrilaterals, let's start with, they are a figure with 4 sides and 4 angles. And then they're separated into trapezoids. A special type of quadrilateral is trapezoids, and a special type of quadrilaterals is a parallelogram. And you should have this note sheet. Go ahead and pause the video. I'm not going to go through all of these things. I want you to pause the video and write down these notes on your sheet so that you have this information. The thing that I will point out, it says the 4 angles are congruent, and that's because they're right angles, and that means the 4 angles are the same. This word all over here, congruent, congruent, you could even put the same. So go ahead and take time to do that. Have this written. Pause it wherever you need to. Parallelogram. Opposite sides are congruent. That means opposite sides are the same and opposite sides are parallel. And this looks like a slanted rectangle, but a rectangle also falls underneath this. A rectangle, a type of parallelogram, opposite sides are congruent and opposite sides are parallel, but the difference is a rectangle has all 4 right angles. These are 90-degree angles around this whole rectangle. And a square all the sides are congruent, so they're the same. Opposite sides are parallel. They would not intersect if you continued these lines. And all the angles are right angles. And a square is a type of parallelogram. And then a rhombus. All sides are congruent. Opposite side, that means all these are equal, and some people would consider this a slanted square because the sides are equal, the opposite sides are parallel, and the opposite angles are congruent. These angles are the same. The only thing that makes this not a square is that it doesn't have right angles. So here is your homework check, and you'll answer these questions, and then you'll be set for your class time whenever you practice the characteristics and qualities of a quadrilaterals. And your choices are parallelogram, quadrilateral, trapezoid, rectangle, square, and rhombus. The questions may have more than one answer, but you're looking for the best answer. So all rectangles are also blank. A rhombus is sometimes a blank. A trapezoid all trapezoids are also blank. A quadrilateral with two sides parallel lines but does not have 90-degree angles is called a blank. So do that homework check, and then you'll be able to practice in class.